Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Book 1984. The fabulous statistics continue to pour out of the telescreen. As compared with last year, there was more food, more clothes, more house, more furniture, more cooking pot, more food, more ship, more helicopter, more boat, more baby, more of everything except disaster, crime, and insanity. Year by year and minute by minute, everybody and everything was whizzing rapidly upward. As Sim had done earlier, Wisdom had taken up his spoon and was doubling the play-colored gravy that dribbled across the table, drawing a long stray of it out into the pattern. He meditated resentfully on the physical texture of life. Had it always been like this? Had food always tasted like this? He looked around the canteen, allowed Celine get crowded room. It was creamy from the contact of innumerable bodies. Battered metal table and chair, places so close together that you sat with elbow touching Ben spoon. Didn't I try cross with mug all surface greasy, creamy in very craig and a shorish composite smell of bad green and bad coffee and metallic stone and dark clothes all wise in your stomach and in your skin there was a sort of protest, a feeling that you had been cheated of something that you had a right to. It was true that he had no memories of anything greatly different in any time that he could correctly remember. There had never been quite enough to eat and had ever had sock or underclothes that were not full of hot furniture had always been better and rocky room under heat top trying crowd house falling to pieces. Bright dark colored temperature, coffee 50 tasting, cigarette stuffing, nothing cheap and plentiful except scientific gain, and so of course it grew worse as on body ache. Was it not a thing that this was not the natural order of things? If one's heart sinks at the discomfort and joy and security in the terminal winter, the sweetness of one's suck, the life that never worked, the cold water, the dirty soap, the cigarette that came to paste the food with its strong, a well test. Why should one feel it to be notable unless one had some kind of stereo memory that thing had always been different? He looked round the canteen again. Nearly everyone was ugly and would still have been ugly even if dressed otherwise. That it the uniform blew over all the far side of the room. Sitting at the table alone, a small, carelessly battle-like man was drinking a cup of coffee. His little eyes dried in suspicion, glanced from side to side. How they was so wisdom if you did not look about you to believe that the physical type set up by the party as an idea, idle, all miscellaneous and deep. Postmate Maiden Blombier Vishal Sambron carries anxiety and even predominate actually so far as he could judge the majority of people in Airstrip and were small, dark, and ill-favored. It was curious how that battle-like type Peril of train, the mysteries. Little dumpy men growing so very early in life, with short legs, with scalding movement and fat, scarred table face with very small eyes. It was the type that seems to flourish best under the domination of a party. The unknown from the mystery of plenty indeed on other trumpet call and give way to tiny music. Person straight to wake, exhausted by the bombastic figure, took his pipe out of his mouth. The Ministry of Plenty said and done a good job, is yet he says a now shake of his head. By the way, Sims, old boy, I suppose you won't got any razor blade you can let me have. Not on, said Winston. I've been using the same blade for 6 weeks myself. Oh, well, just throw it as you, old boy. Sorry, said Winston. The quaking voice from the next table temporarily silenced during the mystery, and nice man had started up again as loud as very. For some reason, Winston suddenly found himself thinking of Mr. Person, with her wispy hair and dust in the craze for her fair wisdom to years. Those children would be the nice thing her to the thou please. Mr. Person would be vampirism would be vampirism would be vampires O'Brien would be vampire person on the other hand would never be a vampire. The ILS career with the quickly voice would never be vampires. The little battle-like man who scaled so nimbly through hilarious chariot of mystery, they too would never be vampire, and the girl with dark hair, the girl from the faction department, she would never be vampire either. It seems to him that he now intends to live who would survive and who would perish through just what it was that made for Sora was not easy to say. At this moment he was dragged out of his reverse with a violent jerk. The girl at the next table had turned partly round and was looking at him. It was the girl with dark hair. She was looking at him in the solemn way, but with curious intensity. Instant she caught his eyes, she looked away again. The sweat started out on his stone backbone, a horrible pang of through and through him. It was gone almost at once, but it left a sort of nagging uneasing behind. Why was she watching him? Why did she keep following him about? Unfortunately, he could not remember whether she had already been at the table when he arrived or had come there afterward. But yesterday, at any rate, during the 2 minutes he had sat immediately behind him when there was no apparent need to do so. Quite likely her real object had been to listen to him and make sure whether he was shooting loudly enough. His early soul returned to him. Probably she was not actually a member of the police, but then it was precisely he, a Timur spy, who was the great danger of all. He did not know how long she had been looking at him, but perhaps for as much as 5 minutes. And it was possible that his future had not been perfectly under control. It was terrible, dangerous to let your thought wander when you were in any public place or within range of the telescreen. The smallest thing could give you away. A nervous and unconscious look of anxiety, habit of muttering to yourself anything that carries in the suggestive abnormality of having something to hide. In any case, to wear an empower, explain on your face to look incredulous when a victory was a nice, for example, was itself a punishable offense. There was even a word for it in Newspeak. Face crime, it was called it. That's enough. The grill had drowned. Tomorrow. Goodbye.